great plays. They put some points on the board off the defense.
They have. They've had several defensive touchdowns and some kick returns, and also they've probably got 4.
So I know you're probably glad to get him. I don't think it was too serious. So I know you're probably glad to get him. I don't think it was too serious, but just a week to rest up. And, yeah, I think this is a perfectly timed off week for both programs.
Coach, your thoughts on that, the open
day
for both?
Definitely both teams. I think Hurd will go into their region play next week.
Yeah.
So to have that 4 games, and then you got the break before you go into region play is pretty evaluation.
For the guys, maybe, but also talking with Rich Finley, and he'll probably tell us about us coming up on Coach's Clinic after we get done with this. But they've got some guys that hadn't played so far this year that actually were coming back to practice this week for Bowden. So they get some work in before they step out on the field to play a game too.
Definitely helps. Definitely.
So Hurd County and Bowden off, everybody else in action tonight. So we've talked about Mount Zion. Villa Rica, how big was that last week for them to get that W?
That was big, and you know, we talked about that last week in the pregame. You hate to say it's a must-win because it was the first region game, but it felt like a must-win as much as it could be for Game 4. So to get that win last week, kind of get that under the belt, get their confidence up a little bit going into this week, that was big. And to win in the fashion they did, they won by 3 touchdowns and at home. So, like I said, you woke up Saturday morning and felt like a different person. So hopefully they can kind of continue that. They got South Paulding tonight, I think, on the road. And that's pretty much one of those games. It's kind of a swing game, I think, because your early favorites in that region look like Rome, probably New Manchester, maybe East Paulding. But, you know, Villa Rica, South Paulding's going to fall right in there behind that group probably as far as the favorites from the early part, you know what I mean, just kind of going off scores and that kind of stuff. So tonight's probably pretty big in terms of getting into playoffs and having an opportunity to play past Game 10.
Yeah, they're looked great last week, and I think the thing with Villa Rica, the front 7 all year long to me has looked good. You know, we talked about that. The first 3 losses, none of the teams they lost to had lost a game. So you're playing some good competition. So I think last week they felt confident. I think you got your offense rolling a little bit. I think you still got some improvement to do there. They had 2 non-offensive scores last week. So I think still want to see a little bit more production from your offense. I personally believe that they're in a race. You said it, Coach. I mean, to me, this is a big game. I think it's a winnable game.
Yeah.
I think the front 7 is really going to give South Paulding a trouble. But then, you got Lithia Springs next week. And then you got Rome and New Manchester, and both of those teams are going to be really tough. So I think these next 2 weeks for Villa Rica, if you can sit yourself at 3-0 going into a Rome and a Kennesaw Mountain, the tougher part of that region, you're in a good place. So I think this is a big game, and Barron's going to have them ready.
So I would Rome probably the favorite there in that region to win it, and they I think have straightened themselves out.
Yeah. I would think just historically, you would say Rome. Yeah. You know, Villa Rica played Rome. They were very competitive with Rome last year.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe a 2-score game, but New Manchester's got some athletes, and they're well coached as well. So I would say Rome won, but New Manchester's probably a close second.
Yeah, it's kind of coming out of nowhere this year with just the offense and Coach Downs. He was at Alexander for a few years, went over to New Manchester, and man, their offense I think is one of the most powerful in the state.
He's got a state championship under his belt as head coach of Creekside.
Yes,
in 2013. As a matter of fact, I was coaching at Troup County when he played for Shaw.
Yes.
Back in the day, so he was a good player too.
There is some great genetics there because his nephew happens to be the best defensive player in the country, and a young man named Caleb Downs over at Ohio State. So, and his other nephew's in the NFL, named Josh Downs.
Right.
So there's some.
Well, I didn't realize there was a relationship there.
There is. That's his nephew.
Well, he's probably, and he went to college right after Creekside, and then came back to high school ball. So, yeah, they're going to be good. But like I said, the Villa Rica, South Paulding, East Paulding, they're almost like in the same.
Trying to fight it out.
Right there, I think, trying to kind of see who's going to emerge out of that group to be the next contender. Yep. So it should be interesting to see how it turns out tonight.
8th all-time meeting, South Paulding and Villa Rica coming up tonight. South Paul didn't play football until 2006. I didn't realize it was.
That was new school.
Yeah,
I
thought it was a little bit older than that. So how many times in the previous 7 meetings has Villa Rica beaten them? Anybody?
Not many, because I know the one time we played them my last year at Villa Rica, they beat us 21-18, and I'm still a little upset about that game, the way it turned out. But anyhow, shout out to Tim Glanton, who's the head coach of South Paul. The field is named after him now. The guy who lives, I think he's coaching Shorter now. He was at Kennesaw for years. Great guy. So good football coach.
Last year, Villa Rica beat them 38-14. That was the first win for Villa Rica in the series. They had won the previous 6. I think they played 4 times as region opponents and then twice non-region games that they played in during that span.
We had a 4th down stop on the last drive, and they called one of our defensive linemen out for barking the signal of the quarterback to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
should have clapping his hands like they do now.
Yeah, well, actually, they were under center. So he just, and I think, knowing that kid, he was probably just running his mouth. He probably wasn't trying to draw him off sides. So, anyhow, we held them, and they gave South Paul the first down. They drove in and scored. Ended up with, we got the ball back with about 40 seconds to go, and we couldn't get it back down there. So, yeah, I'm still ill about that one. So, Snake Land, you got one on me, brother, but he's a good dude, though.
So the first 6 meetings were between 2010 and 2015. Last year's the first time they had played since 2015.
Yeah, they were in the same region then, and then I guess it seemed like they went out of the region for a while because South Paulding went a different direction when it went realignment time.
Yep. I'm calling win number 2 tonight. I think Villa Rica's going to do it. I think they're going to be playing well and walking in with a little swagger from last week.
So let's hypothesize here for a moment. Say Villa Rica wins this one. You think they'll beat Lithia next week, so they're 3-0. Mm-hmm. Got some confidence before you play Rome and then New Manchester.
That's right. You never know. But you got to take care of tonight first.
Yes.
I think that's the big thing. So, and you got to focus on doing the little things right, and that's taking care of the football. I think Villa Rica's one of their problems with defense has been giving up some big plays. Like you said, their front is solid, but they've given up some big plays on the back end, and that's kind of hurt them some. So you just hope to prevent giving up those big plays. You got to tackle them out there in space, and got to be sound in the special teams, and probably being able to run the ball pretty effectively and consistently will help them too. Because and I think they got the pieces to do it. They just like I said, the first couple of weeks they were battling some injuries and trying to find an identity, and I think they're slowly starting to become what they think they can be.
So they're at South Paulding tonight, are the Wildcats. Villa Rica looking for a second straight win in that series. VR at 1-3, South Paulding 2-2. I think they've had 2 games where they gave up a bunch of points, those 2 losses that they had going into that matchup with them tonight. And again, our region contest, and 30 minutes maybe? Is that about what it'd take them to get over there? Something
not that long. Nah, probably 20, 25. It's close. It's close.
Traffic? Nah.
You get a little traffic in Villa Rica. I experienced that last Friday. They've got this. Villa Rica's growing a little community now. It's picked up. So,
by the way, before I forget, Villa Rica is scheduled to host East Paulding the last night of the regular season on Halloween on October the 31st. That game, I got the notice from Austin Barrett earlier in the week. They've moved it to Thursday night. They're going to play on October 30th. It's a security personnel deal is what it is. So they're going to, because of Halloween and everything going on. So
there you go.
So Villa Rica will have senior night, and the last game of the regular season, it's a home date for them, October 30th at Sam McIntyre Stadium. Is the Raiders of East Paulding will be their opponent that night, come in to face them. We have more to come on the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. The Benefits Consultant beyond the status quo is what we're talking about with Inoventive Benefits Consulting. We're back with more. Break down some of the other games when we come back right after these messages.
Rick Poli's got to get in there.
Secured for multiple small business clients these past 2 years. We know we've accomplished our goal. That's found money. And who doesn't like finding money? So let me ask, what has your broker done for you? Call Marcy Heath at 678-821-3508 and see what Inoventive Benefits Consulting can do for you.
The days are getting shorter and the temperature's dropping. But that doesn't mean your fun in the water has to end. Brown's Pools and Spas is the premier dealer of bullfrog spas in the metro Atlanta area. It's also a great time to start designing your new backyard living space centered around a new pool. Brown's Pools can also remodel your old pool and give it new life for years to come. Stop by one of Brown's Pools locations in Carrollton, Douglasville, Noonan, or Dallas today. Brown's Pools and Spas. your trusted pool and spa provider since 1974.
At Rainwater Funeral Home, we create honoring and healing experiences. Our staff members guide your family in creating a meaningful ceremony to honor the life and memory of a loved one, whether it be simple or elaborate, traditional or unique. No matter how it's tailored, we understand a ceremony is an important step in recovering from loss. Rainwater Funeral Home is a family business, so we understand the importance of giving each and every family we serve the level of attention they deserve. Rainwater Funeral Home on North Carroll Street in Bowden and online at rainwaterfuneralhome.com.
Addison Smith has been giving you more since 1954. Not only heating and air, but comfort and reliability. More means honesty. More means integrity. More means finding solutions. More means 24-hour care for your home and your family. Your family is important to us. Right now, they're offering 100% financing with every repair. Visit us online at addisonsmith.net to see what more means and know that when you call Addison Smith, you're calling family. Addison Smith is an authorized Carrier dealership. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Let's get back to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show.
Welcome back to Grisham Stadium, Carrollton High School. Our site this week for the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. Don't be taken advantage of by out-of-town roofers. Trust the only hometown roofing company, from inspection to repairs to replacements and insurance claims. Serving the local community in West Georgia and East Alabama. Deep South Roofing, dedicated, dependable, and a proud sponsor of high school sports. Carrollton hosting Parker. Matt Skinner sent me a text when we were talking about the band. He said it's 8th grade band night. I don't think that was the 8th grade band that was.
They must have been in there working with them a little bit. Maybe that's what they were doing.
So
get a little work in.
Had to be.
A little run through.
87 degrees before we kick this one off and get it going here tonight. So we've looked at a couple of games. Let's break down some more here. Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown. At Carrollton City Schools, we expect excellence in every person, in every program, and in every performance. We go for gold. Carrollton City Schools. Haralson County started at 3-0, lost the last game on the last play of the game, and now they've had to chew on that, I guess you could say, for 2 weeks. At 3-1, they go to Darlington to take on the Tigers, who are 2-2 on the season. 22nd all-time meeting in the history of that series between Haralson County and Darlington. So, Randy Crutchfield and his boys at it tonight. Darlington, they'll spread you, but it's basically triple option is what it is. So, a little bit different look than what you see every week these days.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Haralson County is just to get back on the field, right? You started off so strong, and then you have that tough loss against Putnam, and then you got to wait off week, you know. And so I think for them, they're ready to get back on the field tonight. I think Haralson's going to be fighting in that region for a spot, and I think they take care of business tonight with Darlington and start the region playoff.
Coach?
Yeah, I feel like Haralson's in good shape, and you basically break your season down in 3 segments. You've got your non-region, you can count your scrimmages in there if you want to, but you got your non-region play. And Haralson's kind of completed that test, and now they're going into region play. And then hopefully in about 6 weeks they're getting ready for, extended postseason play, the playoffs. So if you break it down like that, and it's like I told a couple people a couple weeks ago when they lost to Putnam, I said, coming off a 1-9, you're disappointed losing that game in the manner you did because you lost on the last play of the game and you felt like you should have won. But at the same time, if you would have asked you back in the summer, hey, would you take 3-1 after those first 4 games?
In a
you
heartbeat.
probably would.
Yep.
Knowing that, hey, we're an improved football team and everybody can see it, and most importantly, your kids can sense it. They know it. So I think they're in good shape starting out with Darlington tonight. I think it'll be a tough test because Darlington's going to be extremely well coached. They're going to be very disciplined. They got a long history of winning. They know how to win. But at the same time, I think Haralson's going to be riding some confidence too. So should be a good ball game. I look for a close game, but I think Haralson, with the Boyd kid especially, I feel like he's probably the X factor in this game. So
their MO is control the football, and I guess it becomes more important sort of tonight with that offense you're facing, doesn't it?
Well, for Haralson, for Darlington, you want to control the ball to keep Boyd off the field. You know what I mean? Because the less time he's out there, the less chance he can touch it. So, for Haralson, that's just kind of what they do. You know what I mean? They're going to try to mix it up some, but they definitely want to run the football and be physical. So that game may be over in about 2 hours and 5 minutes because both teams are probably going to stick on the ground pretty heavily.
Darlington beat them last year at Chuck Taylor Stadium. 21-16 was the final. Did that game, and it was tight the whole way. Haralson County had some chances. Darlington had the quarterback that transferred from Rome actually was playing for them at that time, and he is their starter now.
Right.
And he played some that night. But Haralson County had some chances, just couldn't make that big play or make that play that they needed to make in that game.
Anytime you go 1-9 and you look back on the season, you're going to think, there's 2 or 3 games out there that we could have, would have, should have got. And I'm sure that's one of them that kind of stuck in their craw a little bit. They felt like, hey, that was one we definitely could have won. So, you get a chance to kind of even that out tonight, you know what I mean, if you're Haralson County. So hope the Rebels can go up there and get a win. So look forward to seeing how that's going to turn out.
These two used to be region meets back in the old days, and remember 07 AA.
Oh, yeah.
They were together there at one time as well. And Swole Joel's
moving the
rearranging everything here.
Take this thing over.
I think Megan grabbed more. Ellie grabbed more of it than he did.
Yeah.
I'll be in trouble.
Kelly, help him out. He may need a little help there.
Oh, me.
Now, she broke out the Laney Wilson bell bottoms from last week. Did you see the clip with Paul Feinbaum?
I did
Where
not.
he broke out she came out.
Ain't nothing going to help Feinbaum.
The LSU Friday afternoon pregame or Saturday morning SEC.
Laura Rutledge or somebody?
She's on the set, but the Laney Wilson, the country singer, is known for wearing the bell bottoms. Right. So she was there. I'm assuming she's an LSU person. I don't know. But anyhow, I just saw the clips of it. So Feinbaum had gone behind the scenes and put on a pair of bell bottoms.
Oh, man.
And went out there and started dancing with them. So
gosh.
she's broke out her bell bottoms. So she may be looking for Swole Joel or Jada. I don't know if they're going to start having a dance party over here or not, but we might want to get this thing over before it gets too
If there's
out
a
of
dance
hand.
party, we're out of here.
We're done. Yeah, because I know I'm not a candidate for that. And I'm not sure Mike's got a trick hip, so it's going to have to be the Jay or Swole Joel over there. So, and I'm voting for Jay, to be honest with you. I don't think Swole Joel can keep up. So.
Let's see. Let me get this train back on the track.
Get this back on the rails.
Hey,
I don't know how we
got
I just, got to throw it out there.
So, Darlington, Haralson County, first time they played 1972. This will be meeting number 22. Darlington's had the upper hand. They've won 16. Haralson County's won 5. Trivia. What Haralson County coach has the most wins in the history of the series against Darlington?
I'm going to go Chuck Taylor.
Jay?
Peavy.
No. Yes.
There you go.
Chuck Taylor.
I thought Peavy might have got some.
I don't know
in a
that
row
Peavy
there.
played them much.
I don't know that he did either.
You know, the privates were in their own thing there for a while when Peavy was a Harrison.
Thought he might have had the Clay Hyatt days. He might have got him a few there. But
I'm not sure he played them, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he may not have.
Yeah.
I don't think they were in the region with him.
Peavy went to AAA there for a couple of years, too. You know what I mean? They went up.
So I think Chuck Taylor beat them 3 straight times in that series.
J-Rob was the feature guy on that team. Jason Robinson. Jason Robinson was good for
I thought he was a hoopster.
No, he came through the era where you played everything. Listen, Kevin Kinsler was a very young, right out of college, assistant coach at Haralson County, who later became the longtime defense coordinator at Northside, Warner Robins, and then become the head coach at Northside, Warner Robins. For all those years, he was Warner Robins' guy, or Northside guy. And I asked him at a track meet one time about coaching J-Rob. He goes, I think I was a football player. So he's long and lanky. He didn't really always fit the bill. He says, that cat could play. You know what I mean? So
interesting.
J-Rob. That's coming from the guy who was the head coach of Northside Warner Robins. So
J-Rob.
Shout out
I didn't realize that.
Oh, no, J-Rob, he was a dual threat guy now. Hold on now. Don't sell him short now.
And Coggins Big played some football too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, you just got to remember the era now. Everybody played.
Yeah.
You just didn't pick and choose.
Well, I
sports.
can tell you from being the college side of things for a long time, especially baseball coaches, I'm telling you, the old school baseball guys, they love kids that play all sports and especially football.
I think if you're a coach of another sport other than football, if you don't appreciate guys playing football, something's wrong with you. You got to want that toughness.
Yep.
They bring a little different dimension to your team. They may not be the most skilled player, but by gosh, they're going to bring something else. Yes, sir.
Haralson County at Darlington tonight. You can hear that one on King Country, 93.7 and 101.9 in the matchup there. Big one. That's if you win that one, I think Haralson County, that's a confidence builder to get you into region play because that bunch from Franklin's coming to see you next week. So
yes, that's going to be a tough one. So,
yes.
Get a win tonight. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to be ready to play.
Now, at Rogers Stadium tonight, they celebrate homecoming. Temple, a week off. They are 4-0. And number 14 in the state in the composite rankings. They are the highest scoring team in Class A Division I, averaging 50 points a game. And they'll play a Pepperell team that's 1-3, but you look at who they've played and their scores, the record, don't let it fool you. I think they've probably got some talent at Pepperell.
No, Pepperell's a pretty good football team. I scrimmaged Mount Zion the very first, August the 1st, and I saw part of that. And they had some players over there, so I think Pepperell's an improved team. Their record may not indicate that, but I think that's got a chance to be a very close game. Plus, it's homecoming, I think, at Temple.
Yeah,
and they've got a couple guys dinged up still.
Yeah.
A couple key guys are dinged up. The offensive line's healthy, but they got a couple other guys that touch the ball maybe a little dinged up. So.
Yeah, I think, as a football coach, these guys don't love homecoming and all the festivities and all the things. And a lot of times you want to schedule the cupcake, so to speak, on homecoming. And I don't think Pepperell's a cupcake tonight. So I think Nick's job is to keep these guys focused.
No question.
On the task. And I'm going to go where you were going, Mike. Pepperell has lost 3 games, but a combined 13 points for all 3 games. So they have been in every single game. Brandon Haywood's a great coach over there. I got to know him a little bit when he was at Woodland, and Pepperell's always got some players. So I think this is going to be a tough homecoming test for Temple tonight. They got to be focused. They got to play good ball, control the clock, and hopefully get Pepperell on their toes.
Yeah, I think this will go to the fourth quarter. I think this is a game that's not going to be. It's not going to be like a couple other games we saw that was over at halftime. This was going to go into the fourth quarter, still in doubt. So just hope the Tigers can pull through. They're at home again. That's 5 in a row.
Yes,
they're at home games this year.
That's pretty good right there. So they hadn't even had to get a chance to get the travel bags out yet.
That much it played last night may have some interest in that game tonight.
I figure you'll see a bunch of Bremen Blue Devils over at that game tonight. They play Temple next week. Temple comes to town. It's their first away game. They got to go all of 10 minutes down the road. And so sitting pretty good for the Temple Tigers. But, yeah, I have a feeling there'll be a good bit of Bremen folk there tonight watching that one. That'll be where I'm going to be at and cheering on some students in homecoming. So
I know Temple's only been playing football since, late 80s, I guess?
Late 80s.
Late 80s. I was surprised. They've only played 9 times, though, since the late 80s, Pepperell and Temple have.
Yeah,
it would have been a little more than that.
Temple has historically been a Class A school, and Pepperell was historically a AA school. So I think around 2006, Temple got bumped up to AA, and they were in that region with Pepperell. That's probably about the first time they played because, like I said, when we only had 5 classifications or even 4 classifications back in the 80s and 90s, they were in totally different divisions. Temple played A, Pepperell played AA, and Pepperell was a really good AA. They were in the old region with Carrollton and Cartersville and Cedartown and Pepperell and Villa Rica and Central, and it was just a traditionally strong region. So Pepperell was part of that group for a long time. So, probably most of those 9 times have been the last 20 years, I imagine.
Yeah, the good thing for Temple Tigers, they don't have to go to Pepperell and hear that dadgum dragon go off every time a touchdown scored. I played against Pepperell in high school. They had a young man named Sidney Ford who turned out to be a great football
player
at Georgia Tech, and that dragon went off a little bit too much.
Did they have a cannon too?
They got a cannon.
They had a cannon too. I played at Pepperell.
It's a lot. So they don't have to do that tonight. So
the cannon will scare you to death. I can tell you that.
Yes,
it's awful. Went through that quite a bit in
Worth
a few
County,
places.
Worth County's known for their cannon down in South Georgia. Yeah, big.
What's Bremen got though? Train whistle or a train or something like that they play down there? Something like that.
Nothing. Nothing.
But don't they play a song when the team comes out like Rooster? What's the song they play? Here Comes the Rooster? Or
Here Comes the Rooster. I don't know if I've heard that one.
Oh, yeah, I think they got a song. There's literally a song. One of those acid rock groups back in the day, probably when Rooster was in middle school. I don't know if it was AC/DC or somebody was.
Well, we've gone from dancing to acid rock and everything here today.
This is a multi-talented show here.
This is. We're going to get our own podcast coming soon, Coach.
Everybody else in the world's doing one.
That's
We
right.
might as well. This is the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Broadcast Roofing Tent. We are live from Grisham Stadium. We're in a couple of hours, actually less than 2 hours. Trojans going to be hosting the Thundering Herd of Parker. We'll talk more about that. That contest, Central at home tonight. They open region play as well. And some more high school football stuff to talk about. When we continue, we're coming back right after these messages with more from Graddick Sports.
What if you could turn your healthcare expense into a competitive advantage? At Inoventive Benefits Consulting, we engineer benefit strategies that cut costs by 30 to 40% without cutting the quality your employees deserve. Put control back in your hands. Stop overpaying. Start outperforming. Let's make your healthcare plan work for you, not against you. Call 678-821-3508 today. Inoventive Benefits Consulting. Smarter benefits. Stronger bottom line.
When you need the job done right, trust your neighbors at Burt Disposal Services. Burt Disposal has been providing West Georgia homes and businesses with roll-off containers since 1996. Their team is professional, dependable, and can be on site with a 10, 20, 30, or 40-yard roll-off container for your next commercial or residential project. Construction debris, yard waste, don't get hurt, call Burt. To learn more, call 770-826-6789. Online at PurtDisposal.com. When you need tree service, make the call to Evergreen Tree Services, your local, trusted service provider. Evergreen Tree and Right-of-Way Services deliver over 25 years of experience, integrity, expertise, and peace of mind. We have the equipment to get the job done right. When you need someone to handle those troublesome tree projects, give Evergreen Tree Service a call at 770-214-7339. Evergreen Tree Services, individual care, dependable service, and industry professionals.
Are you tired of these out-of-town roofers knocking at your door? Are you tired of seeing their cheap signs on every corner? These companies have sold their souls to the big private equity companies and are not here to help you with your roof. They just want your money. Stay local with West Georgia and East Alabama's most trusted roofing company, Deep South Roofing Company. Whether your job is commercial or residential, put your faith in a company that invests in your local community. For more, visit DeepSouthRoofingCompany.com.
Now, let's get back to the Tailgate Show with our broadcast crew under the Deep South Roofing Company broadcast tent.
Football pump up.
Well, I tell you, Google's a great thing. He has found out the song he was looking for here.
Yes.
Has Coach Thorough. We'll let him tell you.
DT's got his own.
Get that headset on.
DT's got his own DJ service going over here. He's playing the songs from.
Every once in a while, I got a tidbit of a nugget of knowledge that most people don't have.
All right, so tell everybody the song. We microphone down.
Yes, sir.
All right, now pull that mic up a little bit.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Okay, here we
go.
go. Yeah. Here we go.
So the song, what was the title
Here
of the song?
Comes the Rooster.
Okay.
It was Alice in Chains is the name of the group. So I said AC/DC, so Alice in Chains is the AC.
Yeah.
I just threw in the DC. I don't know what I was thinking.
And that's because Rooster was a defensive coordinator.
Could have been, but the name of the song is Here Comes the Rooster.
Can I just sign off right now?
A coach from Callaway told me they played that song when Bremen ran on the field when they played them one night.
Interesting.
We should certainly petition for that.
So we can
if
talk to
there's
Rooster
somebody,
and get that verified. He may be listening since he's not playing tonight.
Somebody from a local school hears that. They may play that the next time Bremen comes to town.
Could be.
May fire him up. I don't know.
But that's what I was told by one of the Callaway assistant coaches.
Man.
Wow.
Years ago.
This is the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South broadcast tent, Deep South Roofing
Here
broadcast
comes our
tent.
celebrity guest picker.
Here we go.
Yeah, celebrity guest picker right there.
Jay Webb to my right. If you're watching this on Facebook Live or YouTube, and if you're looking at your radio, he's to my right. Coach David Thrower to the left. Joel Brox, old Joel here, running the show. Hello, Larry. I'm going to steal some of his material he sent me earlier in the week.
Wow.
Can you tell this guy's a Carrollton guy?
Man, that guy's
get over here.
Trojan gold standard through
I'm
and
telling
through.
you, he's got his gold pants, black shirt.
This is the picture of the gold standard right here.
How you shot of this, Joel? Look at this.
Oh, my
Stay right there. Get between us. Look at those gold pants between Rooster Russell's blue and your gold.
Man.
We got it going on.
Man, he might have played some 5 technique back in the day. I can tell you right now. This guy had his hand in the dirt somewhere at some point.
What'd you play? 130 pounds.
That was your 12-year-old league, though. That was your throat weight limit. What'd he say?
I don't know what he said.
He hit a growth spurt?
He hit a growth spurt.
You'll love him. He likes that.
At Georgia Tech.
Black and gold.
That's
like
right.
You do, too.
Let's
so.
go.
Wow.
Yeah, big win. Big
Man,
win.
you want to take over so I can go to the house here? Oh. He's never been beaten, huh?
No, he transferred from Benson Valley to Parker after his sophomore year. Didn't play against
I don't have
us,
another one.
And they haven't lost any of them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll throw that out here in a minute when we start talking about this. But he had some great stuff. He spends hours doing research every week on Carrollton opponents and everything else, man.
What did you just say? Parker quarterbacks never lost?
Yeah, that's what he said.
All right.
Never lost.
Between him and Skinner.
There you go.
Between him and Skinner,
I'll probably need to go ahead and step out.
Yeah,
me might want to consider
me and Coach DT,
those two guys right here can take this thing on.
So is Larry our special guest tonight? Is that who it's going to be?
Yeah.
Oh, me.
I say Ellie, Matt, and Larry just take over the rest of the show.
Yeah, why would y'all do it?
Just the three of them. I mean,
look, you put her in the middle, and they don't realize how ugly the other two guys are or anything. So, oh me. All right, where are we here? Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. Larry does color, by the way, coming up on the radio broadcast. Matt Skinner with a call in tonight's game, and Ellie will be on the sidelines. That's your crew tonight for the Carrollton matchup here against the Thundering Herd of Parker. I bet you they play elephants over there in Birmingham at some point in time for that bunch.
They rolled up in style tonight in their charter buses. They're ready. They're here.
Go back a few years, guy played at Alabama. Parker had a pretty good career in Tuscaloosa for the Crimson Tide.
Is this a trivia question?
Yeah, this is pre-Nick Saban. This is going back a few years. But it's, pre-2000, I'll put it that way.
Pre-2000?
Between the 80s
Sean
and now.
Alexander?
Nope, Alexander was a Kentucky kid, believe it or not.
Jay Barker.
Nope,
he's from Mobile or somewhere.
He's from
down there near the bay.
Hueytown routes.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I saw him in a playoff game one night. I did not think he would play quarterback in the Southeastern Conference. I'll think of where he was from.
Got a daughter who plays basketball. It's pretty good.
Yes, she's in the WNBA.
Yeah, she can light it up.
Yeah. Deuce is loose. Does that ring a bell?
Deuce, yeah.
Remember that little guy played at Alabama? David Palmer was his name.
Yeah.
Ran back punts, kickoffs, little scat back kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's a Parker High. Parker High
there
guy.
You go.
Remember him.
So, and most recently, probably big guys, linemen, is what they've been most noted for coming out of there as Carrollton gets ready to go against them tonight. Just a couple of miles from here across the way at Lion Valley, Central starts region play tonight. Monday's meal, the Tigers 0-4 against the 4-0 Lions. Central, number 8 in the state, Class 4A. Open date last week to get ready for this one before starting region play. And to me, you just go back and look, that win against Oxford, and Central's been very impressive so far, I think, the first 4 games of the year.
I think they've been extremely impressive. And, I think they had some question marks going into the season defensively because they graduated 8 or 9 kids, but their defense has answered the bell. I think they're solid all the way around. So I look for Central to obviously win tonight, but I think they've got a shot to make some real noise come playoff time.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually with the Lions a little bit ago. I did their pregame devo today, and so talked to those guys. And man, it's senior night for them. So I was with them, and they had all their cardboard cutouts of all the seniors when they were babies. So all the mamas were feeling super emotional during pregame. But I think they handle business. For them, it's go 1-0 one more time. Just don't get, I shared a message with them. Don't be a Goliath. That's what I shared with them today. You got a Monday's Meal team.
Yeah.
I was looking at them. They've been outscored 211-22 this year. They're very different than what we saw with Pepperell's 1-3. They're 0-4, and they've just been getting beat just handily every game. So Central handles business tonight. The main thing they got to worry about Central. I think the Walton brothers, I looked at Jonas earlier, man. He is just locked in. He is a man on a mission, and I think that mission is game 15 this year, if I'm being quite honest. And he's locked in. He was not distracted by all the pomp and circumstance of senior night and all the things. He looked like he was ready to play at 4 o'clock today. So I think he puts them on their back, and they win big tonight. But don't be a Goliath, boys. Yeah, take care of business.
Yeah.
And get on to Jonesboro next Thursday night. They got a short week this week. They play Jonesboro on Thursday.
Now that's going to be a big game.
Yes, Jonesboro's got some athletes.
Yes, players, and they're pretty well coached.
They're very well coached.
That guy's been around. He knows.
Timothy Floyd is his name, and he is a good one. He is a great man, a great human, and a great coach. And the quietest football coach I've ever been around, the Timothy Floyd, but those boys play for him.
Yeah.
There's not many quiet football coaches.
There's not a lot of them. He's definitely one of them. I don't believe it, Coach. I don't believe it.
What'd you say?
Very reserved. I never had a whole lot to say.
You didn't raise your voice any?
Never now.
Golly.
So you raise a interesting point there, Mr. Webb.
Yes, sir.
I was just trying to make sure. Talking to get to game 15 in Class 4A. Whoo! I'm telling you, that's a gauntlet.
They got to go.
North Oconee, Creekside, Cartersville, Blessed Trinity, Benedictine.
Yep.
Ware County, Marist, Central, Cambridge.
Yep.
East Side. I mean,
The thing about 4A is this.
It's not going to be easy, but, man, I tell you.
There's probably more teams capable of winning a state championship in 4A than any other division. Because here's the thing I see when I look at 4A, the top 10, and even on down below that, there's still good teams by the top 10. There's good teams down south. There's good teams up north. There's good teams in Metro Atlanta. There's good private school teams. There's quality teams all over the state. And then, you take Central, Cartersville, North Oconee, up in the north, you got the Metro Cambridges and Creeksides. Then you throw in Cale, I think it's a 4A, and then you throw in Benedictine down south and Ware, and now you got Blessed Trinity and Marist in the private, and Benedictine's private. So, but still, they're down in the south. So, you got good teams everywhere you look. So, I think a lot of 4A depends on your draw, the bracket, and your matchups.
Yep.
That's what's going to really come down to really determine. And we're getting way ahead of ourselves. But Central is got a shot to make some noise, no question. I'll stick by that.
Yep. I think so.
So that game tonight, in all reality, probably over at halftime?
Yes, maybe first quarter.
The toughest battle Central had this week was probably Tuesday when they went ones-on-ones for like 15 plays, probably, or imagine 10, 12, whatever they do on Tuesday when they go best on best, or however Coach Brown decides to do it. That's probably the biggest battle they had this week for sure. This is going to get ugly, and they're going to score early and often.
So, actually, they had played twice previously before last year when Central hung 70 on him. Monday's Mill actually won the first two meetings in the series with the Lions.
Mondays has had some teams. They've had some athletes, and that's an athlete-rich area. But that's one of those places where they've changed coaches 2 or 3 times in a short period of time. And when you do that, you lose that continuity and you lose kids because kids will find a way to find themselves at another school at that point when coaches start leaving.
All right, before we go to our next break, speculation, I guess, best way to put this here. We've also heard some things, and I keep hearing A through 7A. I think that's going to happen with I'll call it reclassification. And I think they're trying to keep the regions pretty much like they are at this point in time. But we've got some schools that may be swapping, possibly, moving up.
Well, the numbers will come out in October from the state. That they have to get the numbers from the State Department first. So they'll get those numbers in October.
Nobody knows where the cut line's going to be right now.
Not right now because they're going to probably base it on some kind of percentage. The thing that kind of throws it off, single A throws it off a little bit because you've got so many schools in single A that don't play football. Yeah. So you have to have a breaking point there because, you can't just say we're going to put the smallest 50 schools in single A because there's 40 of them don't play football. So, there's going to be a lot of schools that don't play football. So single A is a different animal. But once you kind of get it from single A, kind of get that settled, then you can kind of move up the ladder and it'll go whatever 15% or 14% or whatever the percentage or whatever the breakdown is will fall in, and then you'll have the appeals and the going up or the coming down and this, that, and the other. So it will be December, early mid-December before it's fully put down, for sure. But in November they'll start assigning regions, and then you'll have the appeal process. So it's really a 3-step process. 1, they got to get the numbers. Then 2, they got to get everything kind of broken down by classification, A, AA, AAA, how they're going to set it up. And then in December will be their time to hear the appeals and what I mean. We want to play up, or we want to switch to this region because of travel, or this is where our old rivals are, and we want to stay in this region. Right. So they'll hear all those, and then sometime right before Christmas break is when they'll kind of set it down in stone.
And they still got everybody supposedly all 7 classifications will be using the power rankings, and they still got to tweak that some, I think, too.
Yeah, and I don't. Again, that's a mathematician. That's why you got to have at least one math guy on your coaching staff. So any math teachers out there that want to coach football, you're probably highly sought after at this point. You may make more money than the coordinators do if you just know how to figure out the power ranking. So everybody's got to have one. we were lucky at Mount Zion that our math guy was a guy named Joey Marinelli for a while, who happened to be a great football coach. But he was a math guy. He knew it.
He broke it down.
Yeah, and it used to frustrate people. And I just kind of sit there and listen. I just took their word for it. You know what I mean? Whatever Marinelli said.
Not much you do with it, or do about it, right?
No,
roll with it. That's it.
The thing about the power ranking is this: it's when you get down to the end of the season, you really start scoreboard watching.
Yeah.
Because you're keeping up with all games around the state. Normally, like you would keep up with games in your region.
Right.
When you get the last 3 or 4 weeks, but the last 3 or 4 weeks now, you're keeping up with the guys. Hey man, who won the Monroe Walnut Grove game? You know what I mean? Because that affects us. You know what I mean? And if so and so upset somebody down here in South Georgia, and that kind of can bump you up or drop you down or that kind of thing. So it's just a different animal. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out.
See, in the ministry, you don't have to deal with all this stuff, do you?
No, we just worry about souls. That's the only thing we count. Souls. That's it.
The Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent is going to continue. I see the Parker Band has arrived, so we may have a whole lot of noise behind us here in just a minute. We got one more game to break down, and we'll get to that here. Carrollton hosting Parker here behind us at Grisham Stadium here. Week 6 of the high school football season. And we will get to that here in just a moment. A reminder that as we break these games down, it's presented by the Carrollton City Schools. Character, courage, and community are what we're all about. Want to learn more? Schedule a tour to take a visit with the Carrollton City Schools. We continue with the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. One final segment. We come back in a moment with more from Braddock Sports.
At Inoventive Benefits Consulting, our success is based on getting the best value for your healthcare benefits spent. When we hand you a check, like the back-to-back record refunds we've secured from multiple small business clients these past 2 years, we know we've accomplished our goal. That's found money. And who doesn't like finding money? So let me ask, what has your broker done for you? Call Marcy Heath at 678-821-3508 and see what Inoventive Benefits Consulting can do for you.
You call the play and score big during the ultimate tailgating event at John Thornton Buick GMC with an all-out full blitz on factory incentives like $10,000 off MSRP on the new 25 GMC Sierra HD Denali models, $6,000 off MSRP on a new 25 GMC Terrain, or $3,000 off MSRP on a new 25 Buick Envista at John Thornton Buick GMC in Carrollton. GMC, we are professional grade. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Amy Brown in Villa Rica is here to help you choose the right protection at the right price. Amy will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages, so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Amy Brown, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call 678-840-5000.
The days are getting shorter and the temperature's dropping, but that doesn't mean your fun in the water has to end. Brown's Pools and Spas is the premier dealer of bullfrog spas in the metro Atlanta area. It's also a great time to start designing your new backyard living space centered around a new pool. Brown's Pools can also remodel your old pool and give it new life for years to come. Stop by one of Brown's Pools locations in Carrollton, Douglasville, Noonan, or Dallas today. Brown's Pools and Spas, your trusted pool and spa provider since 1974.
Let's get back to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show.
We welcome you back to Grisham Stadium, the home of the Carrollton Trojans, where they go at it tonight with a thundering herd of Parker. We're going to break that one down here in just a moment. Let's see, a couple of things here, knock it out real quick. Well, see what Larry has. Tell you, he had some great notes with this matchup that's coming up tonight between Carrollton and Parker. Get to those here in just a little bit, as well as the last game for us to break down tonight. We saved the Carrollton game for last since we are here at Grisham Stadium. Trojans. Here's some interesting numbers that Larry came across. Parker, defending 6A state champs in Alabama. They have 7 classifications over there. So, got 7 classifications. They're 6A, number 1 team in the state, 6A right now. They won it last year.
Well, they 6A, they probably only got 900 students.
So, Carrollton all-time versus reigning state champions.
Ooh.
This is going back to 1949. The Trojans are 9-19-3 all time versus reigning state champions.
Okay.
So this is Larry Evans' work. Unfortunately for the Trojans, they've lost 11 straight games to defending state champs.
Wow.
And the last one, I think, was, Langston Hughes, their last loss right here to open the season at 23. They were a defending state champ. It was Langston Hughes and beat Carrollton here 39-34. So, again, they got, I think, 2 defensive linemen committed to Tuscaloosa. I think we have a commitment at Jacksonville State from their squad as well. Plenty of talent over there. Their head coach, former SWAC, Southwestern Athletic Conference, freshman of the year, was an all-SWAC running back at Grambling. Frank Warren, the guy, that's their head coach. And plenty of talent.
There was a Frank Warren back in the day that played at Auburn, defensive lineman, big time.
Different guy.
Well, probably his dad, maybe a dad.
I mean,
this would have been way back. This would have been when I was young. Yeah, could be a relative.
So the Trojans, 24 straight wins, 24 straight wins in regular season play. So Parker, a tough matchup, I think, from an athletic standpoint, from a size standpoint as well. Carrollton won the game first time they ever played last year. 48-26 was the final, and I think the return game for Carrollton was a big part of that contest last year over Birmingham. So I think I remember I came across the note Parker is like 10-12 or 10-14-1 all time against Georgia schools that they played throughout the years.
I broke out a couple stats last week. Look at all this work he's been doing.
That's why I get paid the pennies.
The big bucks. Big bucks.
The big dimes.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something about Parker. I watched that game. Was that an ESPN game?
It was.
I saw that on TV. Did they play on Thursday night, maybe? Was it a Thursday night game?
It was a Friday night game.
Was it a Friday night game? Okay.
Yeah, it was a Friday night game. But, yeah, there was obviously some big-time talent in that game last year.
Oh, well, yeah, ain't no doubt.
So,
yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Personally, I think Georgia football is a little different than Alabama football right now in high school football. I think at the end of the day, from what I can tell looking at Parker, just looking at some of their numbers and everything, the quarterback had almost 300 yards passing last week. So I think they like to spread it out a little bit. Yeah. But Carrollton ain't real easy to spread it out against. And so I think they're gonna run into that a little bit. It's definitely going to be their toughest matchup of the year. So I think Carrollton comes out. They do got some big boys. I was talking to Joey King earlier. Came by and dropped off some food for their team, and they've got some athletes. I think they got a Texas commit on that team as well. So, but Carrollton's playing big boy football. They're used to seeing athletes about every week. So I think right tonight they. And then there was this little guy that broke on the scene last week, like really broke on the scene. Little guy named Cam Wood that, man, just had the breakout game, 4 touchdowns last week, 150 yards on 23 carries, man. And that's they were giving him the rock. And so I think Cam's going to have another game tonight.
You know, it's I guess we'd heard about Julian Lewis for the last couple of years and whatnot, but you look Carrollton, Ryan Mosley's had an outstanding year so far to this point in time. You mentioned Cam Wood. Peyton Zachary had a great game last week. He had 5 catches for over 100 yards, a pick 6, 84 yards. But it's been somebody every week that's been a little different. You know, it was Cipher, the quarterback, you know, the way he did. And then last week, you know, they played both of those guys and got contributions in both of them in the game.
I like that, too. Looking back at last week, we talked about this on the post game, but Cipher threw the pick and got a little bit. You know, he's a freshman,
right?
And got maybe a little shaking right there, and then you just put Holesclaw in, and he kind of comes in a little more poised in that moment for the game, and that's where they threw that 45-yard pass down the field, and that kind of broke it open against a 1-point game at the time. So they got a real weapon right now with Cipher and Holesclaw being able to go to both of those quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I think to your point, I think they've done a good job, and I said this multiple times about having everybody else kind of step up after you lose a guy who got so much notoriety as Juju. So the sum of your parts have to be greater in that situation, and I think they're doing that. And then talking about the quarterback situation, I've said this too, that puts your defensive coordinator on the other side in a bind because he's preparing for 2 different offenses, and he's got to have 2 different game plans, and it's tough to get all the reps you need in practice from Monday to Thursday or even Sunday through Thursday to get your kids, make sure that we're covering this. Hey, when this guy's in the game, this is what we're looking for. When this guy's in the game, this is what and it's not like the other one. It's not like the freshman can't run, and it's not like the senior can't throw, but they both bring a different dimension to the offense. And when they do that, and they both have the ability to be a dual threat type guy. We know the freshman's more of a pocket guy, but it's not like he can't escape and make a run.
That's right.
And so you still have to know what he's capable of. Same thing with the senior Holstall. He can throw the football. He did it last week, stepped up big time and made some big time throws. So it's an interesting dynamic, but I think that's so far it's been a recipe for success, and I don't expect anything less tonight.
You touched on something a little bit earlier too in your comments that you made. I think if people here in the state don't realize how good the high school football I mean, the talent in Georgia,
it's
man.
Crazy.
Everybody. And that's Mount Zion's a Class A Division II, Bowden's a Class A Division II. And they both got guys that either Prothrow's a Power 4 guy, but they got other FBS guys that are going. And that's the one thing to me that you don't see maybe in Alabama is the depth of that like you do in Georgia.
Well, if you go back and look at it, and this was in the AJC the other day, I think there were 143 guys that played high school football in the state of Georgia that were on opening day NFL rosters. That's 2.5 teams. 53 guys on opening day roster, plus that's not counting the guys on the practice squad. So that's almost 3 full teams of guys that just played in Georgia. If you want to go back further than that, in the last, I think it's 10 or 12 years, 50% of the NFL draftees, rounds 1 through 7, played high school football in California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and I want to say the 5th state is Louisiana. Don't quote me on that, but I know the first 4, 50% of the NFL. So that's, and then 50% come from the other 45 states.
Right.
And that's not to put anybody down. Alabama plays great high school football. They're probably one of the top 10 states in the country. But the size of the schools in Georgia and separates them a little bit from Alabama because we got schools over here with 3,000 kids.
Yep.
And they've got multiple Power 4 guys every year, where most of the schools in Alabama are, are smaller in nature because you got a lot of small communities that play football. And even the biggest schools in Alabama are 1,600, 1,800, which does not even put you in 6A. That's a lot of times in Georgia, in the highest division in Georgia.
That story you referenced to the AJC, if I'm not mistaken, there are certain high schools in the Atlanta area that have more NFL products than 2 or 3 states combined.
That's right. That's right. So, Hillgrove's got 7.
Yep.
Who?
Hillgrove's got 7 former NFL guys, or former high school players playing in the NFL right now.
That's one reason they're only giving up like 3.3 points a game. I guess.
Well, they went through a down spell.
They did.
The coach that's there now is kind of weathered the storm.
Yep.
Great coach, great guy. He has weathered the storm, and they're good. They were good last year. They made a quarterfinal run, and they're good again this year. I think they're 4-0. And so that's just a talent-rich area. That Fulton County, Cobb County area, especially on that side of Cobb, has got just athletes. A lot of good football players in that area.
Well, my daughter, husband, and granddaughters just moved up to Milton. You got Roswell, Milton. Was it Blessed Trinity? Is one of them. I mean, within 8-10 miles of each other. Are you blessing that? I guess.
Even Fellowship is there. A small school that's got Power 4 guys, and they're up in that area. The unique thing about Georgia high school football is this: there's good football played in every part of the state.
Yeah.
South Georgia, down in the swamp. Southwest Georgia, across 75. Middle Georgia's talent rich. North Georgia, both sides of North Georgia, Metro Atlanta, private schools, public schools, Class A schools, 6A schools. Everybody, there's talent. There's good football players running around in this state, and a lot of good coaches. They interviewed a guy that coached in Florida the majority of his career, who just took over North Paulding the last few years. And they asked him, said, what was the difference between coaching in Florida and coaching in Georgia? And he said the programs in Georgia are better. More money, more resources, more facilities, more local interest, more school support, administrative support interest, trying to build programs. He said the athletes are in Florida, obviously.
Yeah.
But everything else coaching in Georgia is better because, you take the athletes, it's probably 50-50. It could go either way. But if you take the programs, people that's trying to build programs every year, it's not just a handful of teams in Georgia like it is some states. There's good teams in every classification.
blessed to be in this part of the world where we can enjoy that on Friday nights.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. We won't be anywhere else.
Even more blessed by this breeze that just started
blowing.
Yes,
thank you. As we get ready to wrap up, any final thoughts? We got to get out of here.
Excited about tonight. I will give a shout out to my Chase the Victory people over here. If you're coming to the Carrollton game tonight, make sure to check those guys out. That's an incredible organization in honor of their son, Chase McDaniel, Tracy and Kiki. So make sure you check them out.
All right.
I'm most excited about Temple and Pepperell tonight.
He's headed that way, so he'll give us a report on that one tonight. DT, he's going to keep up with all of them. And all I'm going to do is try to keep us out of trouble when we get back with you on the Red Zone Show after a while.
Try to keep my foot from falling asleep. It's been a tough show for me.
Thanks for being with us. We do this every Friday, starting at 5 o'clock, getting you ready for high school football Friday night. It's the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. For Coach David Thrower, for Jay Webb, I'm Mike Paris. Thank you. Coaches Clinic, a look at all the games with the head coaches coming up as we wrap up our show. And then, of course, broadcast from 4 of the games tonight. This one here, Parker at Carrollton, also Central Monday's Mill. Who else we got tonight? Temple and Pepperell in Haralson County and Darlington. Enjoy some high school football. We're back with you right around 10 o'clock tonight with the Red Zone Show. Thanks for Joel and everybody else. Here we go. Coaches Clinic, stand by.